Hello students, welcome again. Here I am with our new session and our very first chapter from your literature reader, English Rose. Now, the name of the lesson is An Eventful Summer. But before we start, I want you to think about few things. First, write three things that you absolutely love about your summer holidays. Then think about or write about any three things that you totally despise. Means almost hate about summer holidays. Then I want you to ask your parents and grandparents what all they enjoyed about their summer holidays. Believe me, I can bet you will be surprised to know what all they used to do in their summer holidays. Now, gear up, buckle up. I am taking you on a time machine. But I'm afraid I'm not taking you to the future, I'm taking you to the past. I'm taking you to a time when there were no computers, no mobile phones, no video games, and no technology whatsoever. Can you imagine? If you were transported to that era, what would you do to pass your time? See, I've given you something to think about. Now, starting with our lesson, let's first discuss about the author. Harper Lee was an American novelist. She won the Pulitzer Prize for her novel To Kill a Mockingbird in 1961. Her other works include the novel Go Set a Watchman, and articles such as Love in Other Worlds and When Children Discover America. She was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2007. Now, to start this, before we start the story, I'll tell you a little bit about the novel, how it came about and all. Now, this chapter that we are going to read is an extract from the novel To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. One of the great books of modern American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird, recounts the events that take place in the small, sleepy town of Macomb, Alabama during the 1930s. The story is narrated through the voice of 6-year-old Scout, whose real name is Jean Louis Finch, who lives with her father Atticus, a lawyer by profession, and her older brother Jeremy. In this extract from the novel, we see how a dull, mundane, boring summer in Macomb becomes eventful and interesting. So when we read the story, we realize that before technology took over our lives completely, children in ancient or in olden times, they used innovative ways to keep themselves busy, occupied, as well as entertained during long summer holidays. Now we'll discuss about the characters. The first one is Scout Finch. Scout is an innocent, good-hearted 5-year-old child who has no experience with the evils of the world. She's a very unusual little girl, both in her own qualities and in her social position. She is unusually intelligent, as she learns to read before even joining the school. Unusually confident, she fights boys without fear. Unusually thoughtful, as she worries about the essential goodness and evil of mankind. And unusually good, as she always acts with the best intentions in terms of her social identity. She is unusual for being a tomboy in the prim and proper southern world of Macomb. Now we come to Atticus Finch, the next character, who is the father of the children. As one of the most prominent citizens in Macomb during the Great Depression, Atticus, a widower and a lawyer, relatively well off in times of widespread poverty. He recognizes that people have both good and bad qualities, and he is determined to admire the good while understanding and forgiving the bad. Atticus passes his great moral lessons on to Scout and Jem, his children, so that they can be protected from the evil. Ironically, though, Atticus is a respected man in Macomb. Neither Jem nor Scout idolize him. Now we come to the next character, Calpurnia. She is the Finch family's cook, a black woman and a mother figure to Scout. Now, Scout describes Calpurnia as a strict, demanding, and unsentimental person of a tyrannical presence. Now, why they term her as a tyrant was because she forced them to play within summer boundaries. That's what they call it. Why? So that they were always in her calling distance. She could call them anytime. But at the same time, Scout treats Calpurnia with more genuine respect and obedience than the other members of her family. Dill, wow, the most interesting character. In the summer of 1933, a peculiar boy named Charles Baker Harris comes to live next door. The boy calls himself Dill, stays for the summer with his aunt, Miss Rachel Haverford, who owns a house next to the Finches. Now, all through the summer, the trio means Jem, Scout, and Dill, all three children, they used to act out various stories that they have read and also improve their tree house. Dill was a wizard whose head was full of unusual plans, strange wishes, and old-fashioned ideas. Now we come to the summary of the story. A successful lawyer, Atticus makes a solid living in Macomb, Alabama, a tired, poor, old town in the grips of Great Depression. He lives with Jem and Scout on Macomb's main residential street. Their cook, Calpurnia, an old black woman, helps him to raise the children and also looks after the house. Now, when Atticus' wife died, Scout was 2, so she doesn't really remember much about her mother. But Jem, who is 4 years older to Scout, he remembers his mother, and that makes him sometimes unhappy. He misses his mother. Now, the entire novel is a narrative seen through Scout's eyes. The visualization is purely from a child's point of view. In the summer of 1933, when Jem is nearly 10 and Scout almost 6, a peculiar boy named Charles Baker Harris moves in next door. He calls himself Dill, stays for the summer with his aunt, who owns the house next to Finch's, and Dill, he doesn't like to discuss about his father's absence, but he tells them all kinds of stories to them. He is otherwise a talkative and extremely intelligent boy who quickly becomes Finch children's chief playmate. All summer, the three act out various stories that they have read. Now, the children, as I told you before, they were supposed to play or roam within certain summer boundaries, which was Miss Henry Lafayette Dubois' house and Radley Place. The Radley Place had always fascinated the children with its spooky exterior. The children used to imagine that a vicious phantom resided in the house. In fact, Mr. and Mrs. Radley were a couple who kept to themselves. Oh, with that, we have come to the end of the story. So you just have to, your pre-assigned task is you have to read the lesson, and after reading the chapter, you have to do the questions that follow in your English notebook. Oh, that's all for today. So I enjoyed sharing this story with you. I hope you also enjoyed it as I have enjoyed telling you. So take care of yourself, stay indoors and stay safe. Bye-bye.